the goals for the day, right? The first goal is create end-to-end pipeline. My goal here is I want to create a data file first. Create data file. Second, write a big program to read the data file. And then see this big program will write data file to HDFS. Then we'll write a Hive program to point big HDFS location. Then write SQL query. Write SQL query to run command against Hive. Then we'll write Linux program, Linux script to push file to a location where pig can read. And the last but not least, we'll use Hue to run. So basically, this is kind of nice step-by-step thing. Normally in real life, this type of things we call job. So there are 3 jobs actually. One is the pig job, second is the Hive job, and third is the Linux script. That's also a job. Eventually, in a real life, you can have a database called MySQL, and you can install Scoop job. So having like this kind of experience, you will feel confident. So that's my first goal. Once we complete that, we'll start Spark. So today I want to start Spark, maybe part 1. And then we'll cover part 2 next week. So next week, I'll cover part 2. And most likely week after, which is we'll cover like rest of the technology, like example, Zookeeper, HBase, Scoop, and other technology which I did not cover. I'll talk about that, and that would be our last class. So this week and next week, my focus is Spark and this repetition of pig and Hive. Then week after, means 2 weeks from now, we'll cover Zookeeper, HBase, Scoop, and we'll cover some of the architecture aspect. We'll do quiz and we'll call a day. So that will complete our course. That will be our 8th week for this class. Any question before I start for today's session? Okay, so first thing first, what we really need to do is we want to create a cluster. So let's create a cluster and then we can get started. So please create your cluster. So first thing we'll go to AWS console and log in. So please go to AWS console and log in. So if you go to AWS console, right, log in. And when you click on the login, just like that, we log in as a root, right? So we'll click on a sign in using root. Click on that. And then we'll give our root username. So for my case, it's my email address and then my password. Of course, it's going to ask me MFA code because anytime when you use root, you do need to provide MFA code. So let's see. I have MFA code and most likely it should be there. It expires. We can have a new code. There you go. 848334. So my code is here and I'm good to go. Give me thumbs up if you are able to log into your AWS console. Very good, Malik. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. Please understand, there are a lot of things we are going to cover tonight. These are very important and very powerful. As long as you are practicing this, you will get a benefit. These kind of things normally you will not learn from book. The only way you learn is by practicing. So it's very important that you practice. Now I'm going to start EMR cluster here. So we're going to start EMR cluster. We're going to click on EMR. And as always, we'll start with the appropriate name. So first we'll click on the create cluster. I hope all of you know we have been doing this for many weeks. So create cluster. So when you click on create cluster, of course, it's going to ask me what's your cluster name. I'm going to use my cluster name is Fav 40. Of course, it's a Valentine's Day. Everyone will remember. Tonight, we are going to cover two sections. First section, we are going through Hadoop setup. And after break, we are going to use Spark interactive concept. Spark itself is a Hadoop competitive. Hadoop is normally used for batch processing, and Spark is used for real-time data processing. So real-time data processing, Spark will be very popular. And there are many more technologies out there, but these two technologies are always used for big data processing. Sometimes people use Spark for big data, and sometimes people use Hadoop for big data. We're going to cover in detail. So first, click on Core Hadoop. So when you click on Core Hadoop, you can see now you have everything here. So this is the cluster name. We select this. We have by default all the software which we needed for our exercise. So we don't need anything here. We're going to go forward. Now, make sure you understand a couple of things. First thing, we need to make sure we create this cluster where we want to give cluster extra time before we terminate. So just want to make sure. No problem here, no problem here. Volume, no problem. Key, networking requirement, no problem here. And here, cluster termination, we see on the screen. We're going to terminate our cluster after 3 hours. So I'm going to change to 3 hours because I don't want my cluster to be terminated abruptly. The reason, because I'm doing advanced lab and I don't want to lose out all my content. So I'll say after 3 hours, you can terminate if I'm not using it. That's fair. So make sure you specify 3 hours under cluster termination. Otherwise, EMR will be terminated after 1 hour. Scroll down, and then we'll talk about key pair. This is our popular concept. So click on create key pair. And when you click on create key pair, we're going to expand that and we'll give it today's new key. Every lab, I normally create a new key. So today is a Feb 14, so I'll say Feb 14 key. Please understand, we can give any name. I'm going to give this key. Now, ideally, you can use PEM, but PPK is fine, no problem. I'm going to click on create key pair. Please understand, it will, as soon as I click on create key pair, it will download the key. So now key is downloaded, and you can see that my key is downloaded in my download folder. It's very important that you have key. Without key, you will not be able to log in. So it's very important that you have key downloaded in your local machine. Now, as I have key already, I'll go back to my cluster. I'm going to refresh. So I'll click on browse. I'm going to refresh and select the key so I can have key selected. So click on browse, and you may not see the key right now because it requires refresh. So click on the refresh. And when you click on refresh, you can see your key will be visible as soon as you search Feb 14. And I have Feb 14 key is here, which I just created today. So Feb 14 and choose it. So now you have key. So far, any questions? So far, so good. You have key here selected. That's very important. Next one is just selecting a couple of things. So you can click on create service role. This will enable AWS to create appropriate service role. And then click on create instance profile. Let AWS decide what profile I need. Right? That's pretty much it. So just repeat one more time in case if you're not very clear. First, we give a EMR cluster name, right? Very simple. Any name you can give. Technically speaking, doesn't matter. So you give a EMR cluster name, which we did. Selected Hadoop core. Then we went down and we selected termination hours is 3 hours. So in cluster terminations, we selected 3 hours. After that, we selected key pair. We created key through browse interface. We select the key and key is here. Then we selected only two options: create service role. We select create service role. Then we click on create instance profile. So technically, I'm good to go. Now let's click on create cluster. When you click on create cluster, cluster will be in progress. At this moment, any question, please stop and ask. These steps we have done quite a lot, so I'm hoping all of you are comfortable. Normally, creating EMR may take a couple of minutes, so we need to give a couple of minutes. When the cluster is created, after a few minutes, you will see SSM. Using SSM interface, we will be connecting to our cluster. We are normally using browser, but you can also use PuTTY. That's not a problem. So right now, let's continue. We'll give a few more minutes. Once we have SSM, we can good to go. Just for your information, on Saturday, we started a Python class. Those who are taking this class, you should take Python class. And also we started Thursday data analysis with Excel. I'm not sure you are interested in Python, but Python is a very advanced, which is very helpful to you. Those who are taking big data class, I highly recommend to take Thursday data analysis with Excel. This is not a simple Excel. This is very advanced Excel. And Python is also advanced. So if possible, you can take those classes. Most of the students who are taking this class are also taking Saturday, 9 o'clock Python class, and Thursday, 6:30 data analysis with Excel class. So make sure you use it. You make use of your time, because especially those who are Viva students, we encourage you to take these classes because it's going to help you. These are classes that are designed for those who are interested in data analysis or big data career path. At this moment, you can see that my machine is good to go, and I'm going to click on SSM interface and try to connect. As always, when you try to connect, you will get the instance name. Instance ID is here, public IP here, and the username is root. So we are using root. Make sure you understand root is the user. So whenever we are specifying the path, we want to make sure path remains clear. Now I'm going to click on connect. So when you click on connect, it's going to take me to the Linux box. And within a few seconds, I should be able to connect. In case if you get an error, you need to change security group. At this moment, any question, concerns, doubt, anything which you have issues or concern, what can I do here? Anything which is causing trouble. Good. Can I count everyone is here? This is our starting point for today's exercise. Please understand, the exercise which I'm doing is extra. Normally I don't teach, but because I wanted to, because some of you are having a little difficulty, I'm covering that. This is actually a project, and students normally do that, but I'm just giving you extra hand so you feel comfortable. Please understand, Pig, Hive, HDFS, and then other parts, Spark, all those are basic skills, but it's very, very advanced and very useful for real life. And I'm giving one extra lab so you can understand how easy and how important it is. So now I'm going to go back to our Google class, and in Google class, I have created a lab for you that actually step-by-step lab. So what I need to do here, I need to follow this lab and I need to correct the lab a little bit, because this lab I created, which is in Google class under today's section, week 7. So week 7, week script, in this class, we do have everything, but it is designed for Cloudera. So we will change to EMR. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to edit this and I'm going to copy this entire thing in a notepad. And as we do that, I'm going to fix it and I will update in a Google class. So this way, you don't have to create a check, means you don't have to modify a lot of things. So before I start, I just want to make sure you all understand there are so many steps out there. Again, I documented my part very well. However, it is important. So in this exercise, everything, whatever I have wanted to do, I kind of define the steps. So the first step is make directory P cells. So you can copy that. Please understand, wherever I need to make a change, I'll let you know, but you have this access in your Google class. The first step, we're going to create make directory cells, which is we're going to do right now, step by step. So you will understand step by step how it works. So I'm going to paste it. So this one will create cells directory in Linux box. So paste enter. So now we created directory cells. Please remember, Wednesday we started Linux class, and many of you should attended the class. So thank you for that. Those who do not know Linux, I highly recommend to take Wednesday class also. Wednesday class will be combination of Linux and AWS. So it's a very important class. Over there, I did cover how the command works. Make directory space -p. P means if it is existing, don't cry. If it is not there, create it. So now you create a directory. Step 1 is done. Now I'm following the same instructions which I have given in our Google class. Now create cells 1 data state item in cells directory. So here, please understand, this is the data file we want to create, but under cells directory. So I'm going to go inside the cells directory first, and I'm going to show you step by step. So cd means change directory cells. So I'm going to the cells directory, and if I do pwd, you will know that I'm inside the cells directory. It's extremely important that you understand where you are. And inside here, I'm going to create a directory. Now, please understand, in my lab, I have given gedit, but because you don't have graphical editor, because I used to use Cloudera, gedit works, but because we are using EMR, we need to use VI. Good news, I spent enough time this week on Wednesday. What is VI editor? I know many of you attended. Thank you for that. VI editor will allow you to create file in Linux. In case if you do not know, I'm going to show you as well. So you're going to copy this portion, only this. Make sure you understand. These are tab delimited data. So it's very important that you understand that part. So I copy that. Now I need to create a cells 1 file in this directory. So first of all, I am in a cells directory. I did cd cells, so I'm in a cells directory. I verified using pwd command. So now I'm here. So if I do vi, and I'll say cells 1, that's my data file, cells 1, press enter. That will give me read-only mode. Press I for insert, and right click and paste. So when I right click and paste, I have data file here. Please understand, data file should be tab delimited. It is one of the requirements because I'm going to use each column. This is my state, this is my item, this is my price, this is the date. So I'm using 4 columns. Now, once you have pasted it, you do escape, colon, WQ. Escape, colon, WQ. Please understand, we are doing escape, colon, WQ. W means right, Q means quit. You press enter. So when you press enter, you have created a file, and just double check the files is created. So cells 1. Give me thumbs up that you have file created. If you have a question, please stop me. So far, are you with me? Good. Good. The Hadoop is only become easier if you do it. By watching, you can't learn Hadoop. And that is the reason most people make mistakes. They don't practice or they don't do the exercise. Then Hadoop is not going to be valuable. I always tell people, all your life, whatever you studied and whatever you make salary out of it, right? Hadoop, in 6 to 7 weeks of time, gain some experience, you will make equivalent or more money in Hadoop. And that is the power of Hadoop. So I always tell people, rather than going through web development or rather than going for data analysis type of work, go for big data work. You will see the magic because there are less people and more demand. So kind of plus point. Now, step 1 is done. So now moving along. So we are done with this. Now we are saying come out from there. So we are saying cd dot dot. Cd dot dot means you come out, right? So you're coming out from there. Please understand, I'm following the lab just like we are doing here. So cd dot dot means you're coming out from sales directory. And if you do PWD, you're in a root directory. So you're coming out from current directory. We were in a sales directory. We were in a sales directory. We did cd dot dot. So we came out. Now we are doing PWD. We are in a root directory. Perfect. So that part is clear. Now we are saying, let's create one more directory called move. So we're going to create a directory move. So let's create it. Please understand, I'm just following the lab which I have in my Google class. So now this one will create a move directory. Remember, we created sales directory first, and inside sales directory, we created sales 1 file. We created sales 1 file. Sales 1 file has data. Now I'm creating a move directory because I came out from sales directory using cd space dot. So now I'm creating move directory. Now I'm going inside. So cd move. So I'm inside move directory. Please understand, anytime you want to go inside the directory after you create it, you can use cd move. So I'm inside. And in case if you want to double check, you do PWD. So PWD will allow you to verify what the directory you have. So far so good. So this way I can know I'm in a move directory. Now let's go forward. So now it says create, please understand, create move.sh, search.pip, and search.sql in move directory. So we are going to create one by one. It's very important that you understand. Move.sh is nothing but it's a shell programming. It's a Linux programming. Now itself is take a time to understand that I have done it so I can use right away. But in case if you want to learn this thing clearly, we need to learn Linux class, which is on Wednesday. I can't teach Linux in this class, but without Linux, your journey may not be enough complete. So it's very important that you do attend Wednesday class where I'm going to teach you how to do Linux shell scripting and commands. You already know pig and you already know cells.sql, which is Hive. So Hive part you are knowing very well, and pig part you know very well. So for time being, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start with the 2 steps only. We'll try to do 2 steps for short circuit because you do not know what you call shell scripting part. If I try to teach, I might lost you because you don't know. So we will be focusing more on pig. So what we are going to do here, we are going to say, you know what, I will write a this script to read the data which we created and then push data and then have Hive read this data. That's what we are trying to do. Okay. So for now, this is the Hive script. Hive, you are very comfortable because first you drop the cells. If not exist, then create it. The location part, we have to change the location to root, right? And then cells partition. So we'll do that. This one will map the file. So remember our file which we created, cells file, has 4 columns. If you remember, first column was date, second column was the item, third was the price, and fourth column was the date. So you can see item, price, sales data, and state we are using as a partition. So we are using partition we talked about last week. So we are using partition table, and we're going to point. The only change I made is here. I made a root. So now everything looks good. This is the creating partition just like last week. So this is my Hive script. So how to do that? We are going to copy this portion. We're going to copy this portion up to this, up to this. We're going to copy Control C. Please understand, we have changed. This one is root, but we have not pushed the file. We're going to show step by step. So no, we'll not have problem. So right now I'm here. I'm in a move directory. Here I'll say vi, and I'm going to create cells.sql. So the cells.sql is a Hive script. I press enter. I say I for insert, and right click and paste it here. Please understand. Here we're seeing that first I'm going to drop the cells table if it is there. I'm going to create a cells if it is not there. I'm going to have 4 columns. In the one column, I'm going to use as state as a partition. I'm going to read the file in this location, and I will have 3 partitions: New York, Michigan, and Ohio. And if everything works fine, I'll show the partition. And I'm going to run select start from cells, where cells is the table which we are creating here. And when I say where state equal to New York, it's going to use this partition to get me data. So it's very simple Hive script. We are going to see the data here. How it comes, I'll show you step by step. Now I'm going to save this. So escape colon WQ. WQ means write and quit. Write and quit. It's always a good idea that you double check by get cells.sql. So you can see that when you do get cells.sql, right, you can see nicely all the informations which we did drop, create table, partitions, and everything looks nice. And this gives idea that my Hive scripts looks good. Please understand, when you are defining that, make sure your location, you should change it, because I have Cloudera. Here we need to have root. It is possible. If it's not working, the best way to check is this one, Hadoop, right? FS -ls, right? And then you can say dot. And if you press enter, it's going to give you location. So right now there is no file. And if I say /, I can see it will give me the root location. And I'll say user, it will give me the root inside. You can see the root is inside. And if I say root, so this is where I'm going to create a folder data partition. So it's very important that you specify the location correctly. We are using a root user, so everything what we're going to do will be created here. At this moment, that location doesn't exist. Don't worry, we will have steps to do so. So that part is done. We have not ran the script yet. So now it says create a cells.p. So let's understand what this script does so you can appreciate it. So the first thing we are saying, you know what, this is not a right thing. This one we will be using our script. So we have to change our location. So in our case, it's a user Cloudera incoming. I'm not sure where we created this directly. I just want to make sure. So here it's creating that. Okay, no problem. So this one will be created in Hadoop. So I'm going to use here. Let's do this way. In big, I'm going to say, yeah, instead of this, I'm going to say root, right? And we are saying that, please understand, we are saying that go to this location. This is Hadoop location, HDFS location. And there is a file, has a 4 column, first column, second column, third column, and fourth column. And they have appropriate data type. Character array means string, character array means string, integer means number, and character array means string. Whatever you read, that will be your data relation. You dump it just to double check. Now, you are saying filter this data by state New York, and you are creating a file NY. And then you are saying for each New York file, generate item, price, and system type. So you are selecting 3 things: item, price, and state. So you are saying in this, whatever file I have, I'm going to take these 3 things. So New York will only have a New York data because you are specifying a condition. Please understand, you are specifying condition state equal to New York. And same thing, you are specifying condition state equal to Michigan, where you are storing Michigan. And same thing, state equal to Ohio, and you are specifying Ohio. So what it does, it creates from same file, like example, what we are trying to do, I have cells But using cells, I use a column New York and create a New York file. I use a column Michigan, and then I create a Michigan file. And then I use the column New York and create a New York, Ohio file. Now, whatever relationship I created, please understand, whatever relationship I created, New York, Michigan, and Ohio, I'm going to say store that file into this location. Now, instead of Cloudera, I'm going to do root. So you can see here, this location will be created, and this will be partitioned using tab delimiter. So I'm going to specify here root. I'm going to say root and root. So in short, what I'm saying here, the file which I read from incoming, I will slice that file into 3 files. So this is my master file. I'm going to read this file. And from this file, I'm going to create 1, 2, and 3 relations. And then I'm storing it. So each time when I store, this is the partition 1, partition 2, partition 3. So I'm reading from here, I'm writing here. When I'm writing here, my location will be cells partition. When I'm reading, my location is incoming. Everything looks good to me. So nothing wrong here. So I'm going to copy this one and I'm going to create a script called cells.py. So let's go there. So we are here. We're going to say VI. We're going to say VI. We'll say cells.py. 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 And press enter. And you right click and paste it. When you right click and paste it, please understand, when you are right click and pasting, everything looks good. Remember, this location has to be root. And this is what we are reading. Here we are filtering. Here we are filtering. Here we are filtering. And whatever relationship you have, using that relationship, we are creating files under partition. The first Hive table will create a partition. Hive table will create a partition. And this one, the pig will write to that partition. So pig is writing to the partition. Hive already have created a partition. So now if I run the query against, Hive table, Hive will work. Why? Because this partition will have data, New York, Michigan, and Ohio. So it's kind of interesting way you are doing that. First, Hive has no knowledge. Hive is saying, I'm pointing to this location. And then pig will do the magic. The pig only need incoming file. As soon as we give incoming file, and if we run, it will create this partition. Once partition is created, Hive, if I run Hive and then run query, everything will work and our project completes. If I know Linux, I can do jobs and I can do automated jobs. It means every time file comes, I can trigger, or I can trigger at particular time interval. That example, 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So in CS, we used to have data coming every 1 hour. So at every 1 hour job runs, I read the data, process it, and then and generate the emails or generate the database table through scope. It's a wonderful process. You can see how many lines, hardly 5 or 10 lines. Because we have ready-made things, it's go fast. In a real life, you end up typing or researching. It takes like a day or 2 to write this type of command. But good news, I already have it, right? So escape, colon WQ. And this one will save pig file. Always do cat search.pig, and you can see the file. Please understand, whenever you see the file, double check your location and where you are writing. Please understand, if your location is not correct, entire step won't work. So we have created 2 scripts. One is a Hive script, which is pointing to user root cells partition, and then we created a pig script. So now let's see what our steps are saying. Now this is all what we call Linux script. I'm not going to go in detail because you guys don't know at this moment. So right now I'm going to use this command. Instead of Cloudera, I'm going to use root. Instead of Cloudera, I'm going to use root. So now, first, it says create this directory. So I'm going to use this thing and create the directory. So here, I'm going to create the directory. Please understand, this command is saying, you know what, I'm going to create a directory, user root incoming. So this is the directory I'm creating in HDFS. So now press enter. So directory is created. Now, I need to push data. So let's see what's the command to push the data. So if you come here, there's a command, Hadoop fs put. Here we're going to do root. So you can check it out. So here, I'll say root. and here we're going to say root. Now, in your case, home is not there, I believe. It's a straightforward, right? Let me double check. What is the Linux part? If I do pwd, it's a root move, right? Root. Okay. So here, just straightforward root. I don't think I have home here. So I'm going to say root, straightforward like that. Now here, this is root. So here, root cells. Just want to make sure everything is correct. So this command, if I read carefully, what it does, it says that whatever file we created, tab file, anything inside this file, you will be pushing it. Please understand. Before I do, I will show you root cells so you will understand what I'm doing. So first I'll say cat root cells star. Please understand star. What that means? It means any file inside show me. If you remember, the file name is cells1. If you remember cells1. So it means if I put cells2, it should work, because if I do star. So if I do star, all files. So like in Sears, files were coming every 1 hour. So every 1 hour file will be like automatically I pick up. So pick can pick up all files and subfolder. So that's why star means. Star is very important thing. It tells me go to that directory, and if there are subdirectory and there are files inside, take all files, grab all files and process. So that part I'm clear now. So now what's the command? The command is written here. So I'm going to use this command. This command will read Linux file and push this file to HDFS. So let's do it. Please understand, it takes significant time to do so, though I have done it. So it's very easy. And that's why I want you to take a benefit, watch this recording and try it out. So right now, whatever file I have, I'm going to push here. This file will be input to pig script. And then what pig will do, pig will create 3 files into partition, and that will be input to Hive table. And now, once you have Hive table, then you can run query, and that's complete the project. So this is called sequencing of job. First job, read the file. Second job, process the file. Third job, point the file. Fourth job, run the result. So it's kind of beautiful. So right now, let's press enter. So when you press enter, most likely it's gonna create that, and double check that Hadoop fs cat, and always see did this file went there, because if not, then we have to double check that, right? So here it says start. It means if there are any files, show me that details. So right now command may be wrong, spelling incorrectly, Hadoop, and it should give me cells data. So that is perfect. So this file is there. So everything looks good to me right now. So now it's time to run pig script, I believe. So you can see here, now we are running pig script, which we have here. So check it out. I have pig cells, and this one, if you notice that we have here our all script here. So pig script is here. So I'm going to right click and run. As you know that I'm running in a distributed mode. So it will run this thing against HDFS. It will read the incoming file and it will create 3 files. So let's run it. So it's going to take a minute or two. Please understand, I'm repeating again and again what I'm explaining here. If you understand, even 30–40% of you understand and use it, you will see that how much value this course gives you. Unfortunately, many of you are not having a computer set up properly and there are issues. So I got an error. Let's see what the error we got. So here, error printing parsing, colon. Somewhere we made a mistake. Colon path. Oh, see, it got the data. It got the data, but looks like something wrong happened. Total input. So it got the data, but it seems like it got data, but everything, look at this, everything it used as a 1 column. Rest of the columns are empty. Oh, that's not right. That's not right. It means the file which we created, it did not go as a tab delimiter. Copy paste did not go as a tab delimiter. That's what the problem created. So the problem created because of the tab delimited part. So now we have to do a little bit work here. So I'll come out, let's do VI. I'll say cells, sorry, my mistake, root and cells one. I think I need to make a tab delimited. This file doesn't have tab delimited. That's what it is crying. So example, after New York, if I press I for insert and tab, this is the location. You see this? Everything is script switch. That's the problem. Tab, everything switch. And when you switch, that's a problem. So you have to tab and literally create a tab file. You can see that everything is switch here. So now if I do this thing, everything looks nice. Everything has to be proper tab. If it is not proper tab, then it will not, Pig will not read properly. That's a known issue, which we know very well. So that's not a problem. So here, okay, perfect. This tab part is very important. If you don't have proper tab, then it won't work. So example here, this looks properly. So this looks nice. So now let me save it. I have to delete the old file. So how do I delete? Hadoop fs -rm -r user root incoming, and I think I provided here search one. So that should be deleted. Otherwise, it won't work properly. So good news, it deleted. So please understand. I say rm -r. The old file had a tab problem. So I say go and delete this file. So this file is deleted. I use up arrow, and run the put command. So the put command through, I'm going to push again one more time. So put command through, I push the file. I will double check using up arrow, cat command through, I will check that the file has appropriate tab, which looks nice. Everything looks nice here. So now I'm going to run pig one more time. So use up arrow. And if everything is right, pig script should work, and I should have 3 folders created. So let's run it. Troubleshooting in Hadoop is a little tricky. I worked on this field for many years, so it's easy for me to troubleshoot. But trust me, many of you will spend days. Oops, still have error. Now we have a bigger problem. Something wrong. It says at line number 16. Line number 16. See now it found New York TV, but it is not finding. Look at that. There's a problem. It found New York. Do you see that? Oh no, it is finding New York TV, but it is not finding other thing. What could be the issue? See, first line, it found everything. Did you notice that? First line found everything. It means it has a slash issue. First line, it found everything, but other lines, it doesn't find everything. Do you see that? The first line, it found New York. So what's the issue? New York, see TV. First line, everything it found very well. So now again, we have to use VI editor. And first line, everything went well. It means it has an enter issue. So I press enter. Oh, sorry for that. So something wrong here. File, insert. Oh, sorry for that. So what's the issue here? Up to first line, there is a lot of problems. Because ideally, if I do insert here and I press enter, and if I do DT, oops. Let me do one thing. Something wrong in this file. So let me come out first. I have to work on the file. So let me do DOS to Unix. First, that's not a problem because when we create the file in Linux, right, sometimes there are special characters. I want to make sure there's no special character, but it has an issue with the tab. So DOS to Unix not there, no problem. So VI, first line, no issue. That's what they're saying. So if I do enter and then PD, sorry, What's the head issue? It looks, everything looks same. Look at that. Oh. See, I'm here. Oh, it looks good, right? And why this guy has a problem? Looks good to, should be good. I think let's do one thing. We can create this file because that's the easy one. So 2010, that's the only thing I'm thinking. Let's create brand new file. I'll keep one line here and we'll create a brand new file. NY, New York, it's a TV, 1000 and 2010, 01, 15, enter. That's a Michigan, TV, 2000, 2000, 2011, 01, 15, Ohio, TV, $3,000, 2024, 02, 15, and again, New York, couple of record I'll write. This time it's a TV, 1, and this is 3,250, it doesn't matter, 2025, -01, -01. Next, Ohio, TV2, just random price, 2019, has something to do with the 02. Then let's say Michigan, what are those things? Michigan, right? Michigan, TV3, in 2008, 0606, something. Ohio, again, one more time, TV2, 2007, and 009, 02. New York again, TV1, 2006, 05, 03. And rest I'm going to delete this. It has a space issue, that's for sure. Alignment issue. This is very annoying. If alignment issue, it will create a problem. So here, Michigan, Ohio, and New York. That's fine. Let's do cat root cells 1. Looks nice. I need to delete again old file. This is part of the life, okay? It's not like a, oh my God, what's going on here? Because if the file format is not correct, there is no other option. So put command one more time. Put command, here you go, put command is one more time. Done. Now put command is done. Now we need to run pick command. If we are lucky, it will work. Otherwise, you have to check it out. 90% issue is alignment. Looks going good. So far, so good. Oops, still issue. What's going on? Oh wow, look at that. It did very well. It did very well. It did very well, but it looks like there is somewhere it has an issue now. It means empty. Somewhere it's coming empty. So let's see. Error during parsing, encounter path colon space. I think
the colon at the end.
Did I colon somewhere?
Yeah, yes.
Do I have colon? That could be the answer. That could be the answer. Somewhere I have colon. That makes sense. Now it worked. You see, it worked. So it's dumping. It's dumping. It's dumping. Now wear it out. It means somewhere I have colon.
The last line you had a colon.
Last line had a colon. That is the problem. Thank you. Thank you. That is helpful now. You're paying full attention. So let's do that. Now we are dumping like New York, Michigan, so at least it is printing that. Good. Oops. Yeah, no, this is fine. That's fine. It's dumping. It's kind of debugging successful. Good. So it says 3 records. It means it worked very well. So let's do Hadoop fs minus cat, and I'm going to do this. So it should only show New York data. So this job normally we schedule through Control M or cron tab. Now this kind of things I normally teach in Linux class. So if you take Linux class, you will understand. Here I will start. So in that you can see all New York data is there because it's a partition. And if I do here Michigan, it's Michigan data, which is a partition. Very good. And if I do Ohio, so that perfectly working fine. Now I'm going to run Hive script. Before I run Hive script, just check it out. Search.sql. So Hive script is going to point here, and this is pointing this one. So basically, data is already there. So Hive script is going to point. So the cells, when I query cells, is go to here, and this has already data. Pig script has written the data. So you can see now magic will happen. So I'll say Hive minus f cells.sql. So it's going to create that. This is only going to create, and everything will work. Everything will work. Why it will work? Because Pig has done all heavy lifting. And that's all. That's all your project is. You can see it's working. Now it says not found, state data not found, because I'm sure table name is wrong. It's supposed to be, I need to do BI. It's supposed to be cells, not state data. BI. Here, what is the table name? Cells. I got it. So here, somewhere I'm using show partition, supposed to be cells, right? Because we are doing cells, right? So everything should be okay now. Good news about Hive script, you can run as many times as you want. So Hive script has no problem. Ideally, I should receive result. If it works, yay, look at that. Partition is visible. Yay, look at that. So now, anyone Hive minus E, I can say select, start from cells, right? If I just do that, it's going to give me all data, right? In that situation, I'm going to get all data because it's going to get entire table and get me result. And you got it. Perfect. And if I say where state equal to Ohio, you're going to get 3 records. And check it out. So this 3 records you're going to get. And that is a partition. So you can see in the whole exercise what we did. We kind of pushed the file first in HDFS. Then Pig script, read this file, created 3 files, and those are partitioned. And Hive use this partition, and we are running query against it. That's beautiful, right? But we are not done yet. So now, after I complete this, if somebody come to here and go to applications, right? Applications. In applications, they will go for Hue, right? They go to Hue, right? And you click on Hue. And then last time, I don't know what password I did. Taste, T capital, taste, 1, 2, 3. Special character also. T capital, taste, at 1, 2, 3. This password must be at least 8 character long. Okay, it's correct. Save it. So I'm here. So please understand, I'm going to click here and look for Hive, right? So I click on Hive. Click on Hive, and I should have my table here. Cells. So click on that, and I have my columns, which I did. So as a business user, you have no idea how it works, but here you can see you can nicely get this data, and you can run the query. So here you can run the query, and you get the data. Nice. So you don't have anything to do. So business users, those who are BI user, right, data analysis user, they can come here. Your state equals to, let's say Michigan or New York, right? You run the query, right, and you get the result. Now you can also use your where clause and let's example, sales and price. Again, let's say 500. So everything will work. And beautiful. That's our lab number one. That's not something as a project. Everything is perfect. The only thing I did not cover is your thing. But what I'm trying to say, now I updated this thing. I'm going to put it back. If you rerun, you have to remove this thing because the next step through, I create a pre-steps, post-steps, everything. But please understand, you should not need a Cloudera because you are using EMR. And I like EMR because it's so fast compared to VM. Because if you use Cloudera, it's going to be very, very slow. So here, everything is like that. Question, concerns, doubt. Anything which doesn't make sense to you. So I'm going to remove that. Questions. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this script back to our class. So that way you have access to this thing. I followed everything, whatever we have. You remember there's a space issue, time issue to make sure you fix that part. But otherwise, I'm going to put it back. So you can play around. Okay. I'm going to go back to our Google class and paste it here. So I delete this thing and I paste here. And that complete my first step. So you can notice that in first step, we, sorry, not this one, we did this one. So our first step was, we want to do this exercise. So create data file, write a peek script to read the data file, peek program write data file to HDFS, write Hive program to read that location, write SQL, write push file to location. Now, the most interesting part is this one, which I like the most. Interesting part is if I go to EMR, right? Not here, I go here. Now, just an example. We have a file called sales data, which we push it, right? We push it to this one. Put command. This is the put, right? So right now, I'm pasting the file. Let's say I want to paste it one more time. And this time I will say, this is my sales one, just an example, sales one. What I'm trying to say here, if I got a new file, the new file I'm pushing to the incoming. But peek script has, so file exists, let's do sales 2. So I push the file to peek, but peek cannot run. Peek cannot run because the directories exist. So for that, I need to delete the directory. And good news, I have all the script ready here. So we can delete and rerun the peek script because peek will not run unless you delete the script. So these are my command to delete this thing. So one by one, I'm going to delete. And I want to show you something interesting. Because right now, only one file exists. Now I'm deleting this thing in New York and then in Michigan, Ohio, right? Now I say, oh, sorry, O is not there. Sorry for that. Now I'm going to run peek because peek say, hey, I got a new file. Let me process it. So if I want to run peek sales.peek. So now it's going to run. It's going to read all files. There are 2 files existing incoming. It will read that. It's going to push to the what you call in partition. I don't have to run Hive. Hive will automatically work, and that is the best part in the world. So peek is the only one you need to require return. Hive, it's pointing. I'll show you. So right now everything went well. So now if I go to Hue, you notice that when last time when I ran this query, please pay attention. This partition had only have 2 records. But now I have 2 files, so I think I should have 4 records because I pushed 2 times file. So if I run it here, then you can see 4. Give me thumbs up. So peek can pull the data and write it. Peek can pull the data, write it. Peek can pull data and write. And Hive will work. So these business user has no idea how the data is being changed. Good. This is one of the most important aspects of working with Peek and Hive. So sometimes in interview people will ask, do you know Peek? Do you know Hive, which you like? You only use Pig, you only use Hive? No, answer is always you use together. Pig is very good in ETL, Hive is very good in SQL. Question, concerns, doubt before I switch the topic. Good, awesome. So now, moving along. So right now looks like we are done with this thing. I have updated the script. So what I'm going to do is, because we have limited audience, I'm going to go fast because it looks to me I should be able to complete Spark in a specific aspect of the world. We are missing Alma and others, but let's continue. So now we are going to change the topic, which is the part 2. So part 2 is our Spark. Now Spark itself is a